In this session of the Gemini for Education AI Educator series, we're going to be focusing on creating rubrics for assessments. So the learning objective for this area of focus will be that educators, you will be able to use Gemini Canvas to brainstorm authentic assessment formats and draft comprehensive editable grading rubrics, and then shifting the pedagogical focus from assessing recall to assessing application. These are aligned with the ISTE standards of technology-enabled assessments, as well as supporting the profile of an AI-ready graduate. So we'll focus on how we're going to use the tool Gemini Canvas as a tool to help you design these authentic assessments and to generate the rubrics required to evaluate your students. So specific assignments feel the most vulnerable to a quick AI shortcut is something we always are considering. So it's a standard reflection for all of us. If we said a 5-page summary or a general essay, trying to think about ways in which we can kind of AI proof some of our assessments, but also at the main point is not just AI proof your assessments, but also look at different ways to bring out those learnings of your students. So for Gemini Canvas, we can help design these rubrics that will evaluate students' knowledge and the application, and we're going to be able to use that in a way that allows them to see that specific criteria that you want and in which they'll be able to understand to be able to give you that visible learning. So I want you to imagine that you are teaching a political science class or anything to do with that, and you want to create an assessment where students apply their knowledge at a professional level. So we're going to head to gemini.google.com, and we're going to open up the Canvas button in the prompt box in the tool below. And I'm going to kind of show you this item where we're going to be looking at, I teach a high school level political science seminar, and we are going to look at international relations. And instead of a traditional midterm essay on global trade agreements, you need 3 ideas for authentic assessment where students apply their knowledge to real-world scenarios. So in this case, I'm going to adapt it to the high school level because the rubrics that we are using, of course, are a similar concept. So you can replace that word seminar with high school or term. And in this case, I'm going to click on the plus button. I'm opened up Gemini.google.com. I clicked on new chat and make sure that I've hit the Canvas tool. And I'm going to put in that prompt about teaching a high school level political science seminar or course. I'm going to replace that now. And instead of a traditional midterm essay on global trade agreements, I need 3 ideas for an authentic assessment where students apply their knowledge in real-world scenarios. So I'm going to click on Submit. And in Canvas, remember, it opens up a different pane on the right-hand side. You'll see that thinking and coming together in just a few moments. Here we go. So you can look up here and say, here's assessment option 1, the Emergency Multilateral Trade Summit. Here is option 2, the WTO Dispute Settlement Panel, National Security versus Free Trade, and the last one would be Supply Chain Resiliency Executive Briefing. Well, in this case, I might just choose option 2. I kind of like that. What does that mean? I'm going to ask now in this format, still within our Canvas chat here, but I do want to highlight, if I really like option 2 here, I can highlight it here and ask Gemini to isolate that and then change it. I don't have to take it as is. I can say, please take this and expand it the way I want to, or please use this sort of output, or change the focus on this or the weighting. So I can absolutely do that. But going back to the side here, I want to focus on creating a rubric based on that option of number 2, which is the student roles and the deliverables. But going back up here to the option 2, I really like this one. So I'm going to put, please create a rubric. And here we go. And then I'm going to put that as option 2, WTO Dispute Settlement Panel. And then I'm going to click that and let it go. see what it comes up with as it continues to think. And here you can see that coming along the side here, we now have a suggested evaluation rubric focus here. It keeps on option 2. Here we go. It's pretty amazing on what it comes out and spits out right in the moment. So you can see there's developing, proficient, advanced, exemplary. This is in a 4-point in levels, and you can see the assessment stage categories there. I can also, of course, go in to isolate some of it, or I can just generally ask it to maybe make this criteria more specific to peer-reviewed policy analysis. So if you're doing research and you want to say it's got to be, we got to look for reputable sources, please look at that. So we're going to see what it comes up with in terms of comparing and contrasting here. And it's still thinking. And as it comes over time, it will kind of repeat it and add it. I think it's ready to come up. It's generating. And then you can, of course, it prompts you to try again without Canvas, because you can make rubrics in some areas with that, but this is within the lesson plan of coming up here. So this is just kind of seeing what it comes up with. And I'm just going to click on it, and you can see that there's been suggestions added and kind of what you have ready to go. So in this demo, I want you to kind of think about practicing what it looks like. And when I'm finished giving you the explanation of this task and the instructions, I want you to pause this video until you're ready. But the prompt is going to be, as you see on the screen, you can iterate it the way you want it. So you can act as an assessment designer, provide a number of options for transforming a traditional written midterm exam on urban water conservation policy into an authentic assessment, and build a 4-point grading rubric for it. And then you can identify this for an upper high school students and environmental policy for an environmental policy unit, and ensure the assessment and the rubric are objective and clearly measurable. Provide 3 assessment ideas. So I want you to open up gemini.google.com. Don't forget to click on the Canvas button below, and then put that prompt in there. And then, of course, you can take the favorite one and format a rubric based on it as just modeled before. Welcome back. Hope you were able to get some ideas started and ideas flowing as you prepare for an upcoming area of focus of learning for your students. So again, you can go in, refine, and iterate. That's the greatness about using Canvas. You can, again, identify specific areas or a cell that needs that specific language or a change, and you can do it right away without having to redefine and regenerate everything. So in reflection, right now, of course, we're looking at it. Well, what would you do differently? What could I ask differently? What are you able to use in terms of creation of rubrics? How does that even simplify some of those items? What have you used for creating rubrics before? And how does this at least get you started in the right direction, so that when you maybe open it up in a Google Doc and you can change it, that makes sense for you, wording, then you're able to bring it forward and just at least kind of take that beginning part and just give you those ideas to launch forward, as opposed to creating everything from scratch. So once you got a chance to play around and sort of dig into different concepts of this, take these tutorial ideas that we've been modeling today and get your micro badge. You can go to goo.gle/GES20 and you will open up a page like this for the Google AI Educator series. You can continue your learning, which is reflective of what we just went through, and then you can click on Earn Your Badge and go through some multiple choice scenarios that reflect your learning. So I hope you're able to get that micro credential for today. And then, of course, we always value your feedback here at Logix Academy. So you can scan this QR code, or you can type in the URL on screen, or access any of the information that's been shared with you upon registration to give feedback for this series.